Say that. So think about this show as a place for you. Where would you go to unblock yourself? Where would you normally go? Think about the average person. Where would they go to unblock their writer's block, or maybe kind of get away to kind of clear their head and kind of restructure their thoughts and their ideas? Where would you go? Would you go running? Would you go exercise? Would you go
to the gym?
Would you go to the gym? Would you smoke something? Would you drink something? Will you, whatever it is.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone. Maybe you need to sit there and listen to someone to gain inspiration or maybe gain some ideas. This is what this show is about. Come here.
I would love to go to a place like that.
Dude, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. This is why we're creating this, because we're here already. So this is what we're doing. Again, welcome to the show. We hope that this show will be a bunch of information for you, and let's get to it. Let's get to it.
So, like we talked about, we can go into many industries. So we're going to take the dealership. We're going to take purchasing a vehicle, the process of purchasing a vehicle, and, how to not get caught up.
So that's our first topic right now. First first thing we're going to talk about is anybody who's looking to purchase that vehicle. Think about the stress that could bring on, that can arise from someone just trying to do a simple thing as
people get stressed.
Purchase a car.
People get stressed over buying vehicles.
Oh man. So what we'll talk about is things to look for, things to do, things not to do.
Right.
Who to talk to, what kind of language in the dealership, what kind of, position financially you need to be in. If you've taken every step that you think possible, that you've possibly taken, you can possibly take, and you're still not getting anywhere, we're going to talk about a lot of things that can get you past that roadblock or get you back past that writer's block, so to speak, so that maybe you haven't implemented some of these things. Maybe there's more information that you may need to put into action. So.
And the reason why we can talk about this because I definitely have the background. So I embarked.
Talk to them about that. All right, so let's get into it. So before we even get into this stuff, my brother here has been an expert sales consultant or salesman. Well, not salesman. Wouldn't want to even call it a salesman.
I was a sales manager. I was a salesperson, sales manager. I was in sales, basically sales.
So he has probably, close to 10 years of experience in the car dealership.
Yeah.
He was a car dealer at one point, and he can tell you all the tricks and trades of everything that goes on. And one of the biggest car dealerships, we won't mention the name, but he has it. So the reason we're talking about this topic is because we have experience, in-house experience, our very own expert right here. So talk to us, man. Let's talk about a little bit of your background and where you've come from. And how you got into the car dealership, and let's go from there. It
started out in 2008. 2008, I was actually ending my so-called political career that I had. The last thing I did was actually I did a fundraiser that President Obama did at the Waldorf Astoria, and I believe Donald Trump was there as a donor.
Donald Trump donated to Obama's,
he was there
campaign?
Eating the food. I know that.
Sound like a Trump move.
So whether he donated or not,
right?
Whatever.
Who knows?
So
that's crazy. That could start a whole political controversy if that gets out. Imagine if the media.
But it doesn't matter.
Like Trump funded some of Obama's campaign back in the day.
Well, you know why things like that don't matter? People forget, and people don't remember. And something could happen yesterday, right? And today you tell them a lie about something that happened yesterday, and they're gonna believe the lies today. And when whatever happened yesterday has nothing to do with what you're talking about, you're just covering up.
Right.
And people are gonna go with that. And because if you're gonna talk about Trump, Trump said something like in 1999 that if he was going to run for president ever, the party that he's gonna join is the Republican Party because they're stupid. Wow. That was his exact word. So people don't remember that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
People don't remember that this guy was not in that party. That wasn't who he was. He was just a billionaire person living his life. And I believe at some point he had a democratic stance. But because he knew he can control or manipulate that particular party, that's why he's there. This guy is calculated. This guy has a lot of ulterior motives about him. He's not trying to do the people's work. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, you can have yours, but
yeah.
Anyway,
politics. We can go on that for hours.
Thing,
So going back, you were a journalist.
So I left that industry because my brother at the time was in the dealership, doing amazing. By the way, he was making a ton of money in that world. And then he was like, yo, based on your personality and how you are able to connect with people and interact with them, I think you'll do great. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. You know, I got in there, did the training. He actually trained me and gave me the the scoop, how to put things together. You know, how to find the cars. You know, land the car with the right customer, with the customer with the right car. And so there's a strategy to that whole thing. And I learned that, and I picked up my own, developed my own way of going about selling. Man, if you're gonna learn anything about selling, if you have a child and your child just coming into the world and he's about 18, maybe he's 21, and he's gonna go into the world of business or entrepreneurship or sales, just throw him in the dealership.
Car dealership.
At least for 6 months. Maybe
Good training.
Good training. If you can do a year, that's the best training on sales you can possibly get.
Why do you say
ever.
that? Why do you say that?
Because you meet various type of people. You meet a lot of people that come in there with different background, different personality, and you have to connect with each one of them. There's times that I have Irish people that come to my chair, sit down on my desk, and I see myself talking Irish. I see myself, based on what they were telling me and how they was here, and I was here with them, and the accent that they developed, that they were giving me, I was giving them the accent back. I was giving them the tone back.
Okay.
So basically, I didn't look like them, but I was sounding like them. A little bit, not too much. Where it's like, is this guy messing with me? But it was like a relatable.
Yeah, I was gonna say being relatable.
Just being relatable.
It's like when they say when you're talking to a child, not to say anyone, but you're talking to a child, you kind of want to be like eye to eye with them.
Yeah.
Eye level. Yeah, for sure.
So I got into the industry, and listen, if you didn't finish school or college, whatever, in order for you to make a lot of money, you're either gonna need a skill, a big skill, to make some money, or you can jump into a dealership and make all the money because it all rely on you. Okay. It's all about what you are able to bring to the table. So if you're able to connect with people, you're gonna make a lot of money. If you're one of those people that's one way and you can't be up here, you can't be down here, you can't be sideways, you can't go left, you can't go right, you're not gonna make a lot of money. You're just gonna be like, I can't get along with that guy. Can you close him for me? I had a lot of salespeople during my time in a dealership will come to me and be like, yo, can you close this customer? I think you got that vibration that he needed to close him. And I'll come in there and sit down and throw the kitchen sink as far as selling is concerned, and boom, close the deal, and that's it. But we did that all the time when it comes to the dealership. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to close deals, and different personalities, was key to closing the deal. And sometimes it wasn't my personality. Sometimes the customer hated me. Yeah. And manager needs.
You're like, you know what? Let me bring somebody else in.
Let me bring somebody
else. Pinch hitter.
Yep.
Something like that, and kind of all right. I'm thinking this too. I'm thinking like, if you jump into the dealership, right? Not only will it teach you different people and how to read different people, how to talk to different people and all that stuff, it's going to teach you a lot about real life situations, right?
All day.
So you'll start to learn, about certain things that you need in place in your life to get where you need to be, not just cars. So like, you're going to learn about credit. You're going to learn about different lenders and what they require. You're going to learn about interest rates. You're going to learn about financing and leasing and all that stuff, because that can translate over to home ownership and, possibly owning, multifamily homes and investing in real estate. That can show you a lot of the tricks and trades.
It's a lot of perspectives. So it's a lot of opportunity to learn many different parts of life.
And what you can do then is now you're that subject matter expert. So now you can go and translate that to your inner circle or your colleagues or your friends or your family or your parents or your kids, your wife, whoever.
Or business, Or business. I left the industry, to start business and to really help the people that was walking in there getting hit with the 24% interest rate. people that look like me, at the end of the day.
24% interest rate.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of us is not really savvy when it comes to credit. No one is teaching these people how to handle their finance and organize their credit. So they come in there with the 500 type of credit score, not because they were being poor about it, because they didn't have no skill to elevate it or make it better. So they will get hit, and I would see this a lot, and I was like, man, some institution needs to be teaching these people, or something needs to be teaching these people finance and credit. So that was part of my reason of leaving the industry.
All right. So you left it. So you left the industry and doing what you're doing now. So let's go back to that. Let's go back into that way. Yeah. So let's go back. All right. So you were a politician. You were running for president at one point. No, I'm joking. You were running. You were in that world, in the politics world and stuff like that. And then you decided, your brother put you on to the dealership and he brought you in. So walk me through that experience. Maybe the first few years, like the first 3 years of that. Let's think about that and how and some of the things you learned while you were there.
Yeah. So the first few months, I would say, because you got to learn the product, you got to understand the product and what people are looking for, and you got to identify what the people are looking for and what's in that, let's say, vehicle in order to match that person or match that family. You don't want to throw a family into a Honda,
right,
or a Accord. You want to maybe throw them into a Honda Pilot, things like that. But it has to be also matching a budget. You have to know what the max is and things like that. So, the first few months I was just basically selling my personality because I didn't had no time to learn the product. You're
just establishing yourself, getting people familiar with you, how you operate, learning, soaking up a bunch of things.
Learning, soaking up things, going around, learning the cars. I was actually learning the cars while I was showing the cars with the customers. So I was going around. So my way of selling the car is like, you see, this car has tires and has a thread on it. Has good amount of thread.
The car has tires. I would hope so.
See, it has a nice rear view mirror there.
Right.
Side mirrors.
Nice rear view mirror. Has an engine in it.
Engine
steering wheel.
Look how clean the engine was. Yeah, listen, the engine just came from the car wash. It's fresh.
But these are all things that entice a buyer, right? These are all
depending on who's in front of you, they're gonna take it as part of your spiel, whatever.
Right.
And some people will ask the hard question. Listen, what type of engine is in there? Do I gotta worry about certain functionalities and things like that? But it was really more about feature when it came to most people. Like, okay, does it have a navigation,
sunroof,
backup camera,
leather interior,
sunroof, leather and things like that. But yeah, after learning, and then getting deeper into the car, and they push you to learn these things because you get bonuses. Like if you are selling a new car and you learn certain pieces of that vehicle, they're gonna give you bonuses to be able to sell that car and to be able to, give people understanding what's going on in that vehicle. When they buy it, it has to make sense for some people. Some people are really focused on what they're trying to get. Some people, they just say, all right, whatever you can give me a proof for.
And that's it. They don't care.
That's it. I just need to drive out of here. Because after, you submit the information to the bank and they come back with deny. The first they come in there, strong. They come in there like they got the best credit, confident. Like, yo, man, I want the top of the line. I want the Mercedes. I want the $50,000 car West, man. I'm not leaving out of here without this car. You got to get me in this car. I got about $2,500 to put down. It's my dream car. I was like, word, okay, no problem. What's your income? Okay, your income is there. What's your credit? Credit is, once we pull the credit and be like, listen, your credit, they come in there like their credit's in the 700s, right? And once we pull the credit, like, yeah, your credit is like 585 right now. Unless you got a lot more money to put down, this may not be the car to do it in.
All right. So wait, let's rewind. So somebody comes in. All right, let's just get to, so we're talking credit right now. We're talking all that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to skip over, certain things, but all right. So you were there. This is all right. Let's fast forward from you being at the dealership. You were there for a few months. Maybe now, a year now?
It's a year, couple of years,
couple of years now. Now you're there. You're seasoned. You know the information. So let's talk about some of the things that people face when they walk into that dealership. So like you said, I mean, I've experienced it. you know, I've seen other people do it. They walk into the dealership and they say, I want this car. And the first thing they ask, okay, well, how much money you have down? What's your credit like, right? Or what's your credit, and then how much money you're gonna put down.
How much money? Yeah, what's your credit? How much money you gonna put down?
Right, and their answer is, well, I've never used my credit,
right?
So I should be good to go. Or maybe, you know, I've, you know, things like that. Like I don't have anything on my credit really. I have a couple credit cards that I pay on time, or maybe a credit card that I pay on time. Whatever the situation is, so they look and maybe they monitor their credit. Maybe they're looking at their credit and they're like, all right, this is a 750. I have a 750 credit score. There should be no reason why I shouldn't be able to walk into the dealership and get a car. So you go and you pull their credit and you see that, you know, maybe they do have a 750 or maybe they don't, or maybe, you know, walk me through that situation. So, what are some of the things that people expect because they, you know, they don't, maybe they're not educated? Like,
well, as soon as they walk in, they're going to walk in and see a bunch of tigers laying around.
Of course, everybody's
bunch of tigers.
You ever been at the delership and you walk to the lot and already somebody's coming out to greet you?
Right.
Like, those are the
because
lines.
First come, first serve.
Yeah.
You better get a whole lot customer before somebody else does.
Okay.
And you not make that money. So so they're coming to the dealership, right? And for you not to waste your time with that person, you can't get dictated by that person. And a lot of the person, listen, man, I'm just looking. All right, I'm just looking. I'm not ready yet. I want to see what I got, what you guys got, so I can see if I make a decision.
So what do you do in that situation when somebody's like, I'm not ready yet?
Well, you know,
you give them their space.
Yeah, you'll give them the space, but before you give them their space, you give them opportunity. You bring some logic to the table.
Okay.
You tell them, listen, man. You know, you can look at the cars that you want. We have no problem with that. But however, you don't want to look at the wrong car because you don't know whether. I'm not saying you don't have it, but you don't know if this car's over your budget. You don't know if this car is the best fit for you or your family, whatever. I can actually help you with the process. You don't have to buy nothing. My job is here for you.
Okay.
I can tour you around. Remember, you playing with them because you want to walk with them. Yeah, but you also don't want to waste your time. So you got to be fishing. So you have to ask the right question.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Okay.
So if the person is a buyer, you're gonna be able to sense that a little bit. So if he's a buyer and he really wants, and if he came across nice with him, good enough, and you sold him on to come to sit down, you know,
to actually come into your office.
Come inside, come into the office, sit down with me, so we can actually go over what's possible for him, opposed to just going out there in the lot for 2 hours. And you land on the car that you really like the car, to find out you can't even get approved for.
Can't even get it. Yeah. Okay.
So it's a waste of time, a waste of everybody's time. I could be landing another customer, and I waste the time with this guy for 2 hours. A lot of times, there's a lot of downtime, so it's like you waste a lot of time in a dealership.
Yeah.
And that's why you gotta.
So let me ask you this:
set up your time properly.
So if someone came to you, and this could be maybe a tip that we give, our viewers here. Someone came to you on the dealership and they say, "Look, I'm interested in this car." And they tell you, I'm already pre-approved for this much.
Oh, shoot.
Is that ideal? Like, who does that benefit more? The customer, you, the dealership, or both? Is that something they should probably, like, if they come in and they already talk to a bank or a lender and they got a pre-approval for, let's hypothetically say $50,000.
Yeah.
And they come in and say, look, my bank already pre-approved me for 50 grand.
Right.
How does that, like, is that something they should do? That's something that they shouldn't do? Like, what do you think?
Well, when a customer comes into the dealership with a pre-approved, at the end of the day, it's pre-approved. It doesn't mean they're approved. So you gotta really still fish, because if you take them to the lot, I'm pre-approved, for $50,000, I can get approved. Meanwhile, it's not an official approval. It's
okay.
like
so it's a difference.
We pre-approve all day for everything.
Yeah.
We pre-approve all day for everything. Doesn't mean there's a real approval there, and doesn't mean you're gonna get that interest rate you think you was gonna get.
Right.
Once they go through the motion and really try to get an official approval going. All right. There's some people that come in there, yeah, I'm already approved. Meanwhile, they're bringing you a subprime document saying that they're gonna get hit with 24% interest rate, and they got to put down about $3,500. So they got all these steps that they gotta have with them, and they're not reading those fine print. They just come in there, I'm pre-approved. Meanwhile, it's like, oh, listen, do you know that you got to put X amount of money down? You got to do this, got to do that, and do you know you got to have you got to meet the minimum credit score, whatever, all these different things. So it's not just I got a document and I'm pre-approved. Now, if you have like a document from the actual bank, and let's say you have a bank and it's Navy Federal, and they have an actual approval.
Okay.
They don't got a pre-approval.
But they have an actual
check.
Okay.
That's banger right there. Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna find you if you got $50,000 to spend.
I'm gonna find you this car.
I'm not gonna find a $50,000 so you can spend about maybe 55, 56 with taxes. I'm gonna try to find a car that's around 45, and so the taxes could be built onto the 50, so it doesn't go past that. And if it does go past that, I'm sure you know we'll be able to find a way, and the customer can probably come out of his pocket for the balance.
Gotcha. All right.
So
there's a difference. Pre-approval is just any bank pretty much saying, here, you're based on your credit score, based on your income, whatever. Here's a pre-approval. But there may be some underlying fine print that you may not know, right? And then you want an actual approval from the bank.
Yeah.
An actual approval where you actually went, and this is the car I'm looking at, this is the price I want to spend.
Yeah.
They approve you for the fund.
I walk with that guy.
Walk into the dealership.
Yeah, I walk to we can walk around the lot with that guy.
All right.
He has a real approval going. About 50,000. Okay, bet. What are you looking for? Mercedes. Good. All right. So you want to stay under this with taxes included, or do you have money down to add to this?
Gotcha.
All right. Okay, you got money down. Okay, let's go get you the car.
Okay.
Get him the car. That's a home run deal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Got it.
So,
all right. So then you'll walk with that guy all the way through, and you know. All right. So let's go. So let's talk about someone who doesn't have a pre-approval. So tip number one of the day. If you can get a pre-approval before you go to the dealership, not a pre-approval, an actual approval.
An actual approval.
Before you go to the dealership, definitely talk to your lender, your lending institution, or any type of lending institution, and find out what you can do and what you can set up before you go to the dealership. That's tip number one. All right. So
do your homework, because you don't want to go to the dealership and waste time. You can waste all day at the dealership. You can go there 8 hours, 10 hours. You're sitting there because you're trying to get approval. You're trying to find the bank. Your credit's not there. So this and that. So if you can save yourself some time, know where your credit is, know what's possible with your credit, know how much money you're going to put down, and don't be too picky about the car that you're trying to get.
Don't be too picky.
When I say don't be too picky, like don't go looking for the Mercedes-Benz, BMW if you know your credit is not there.
Yeah. All right. Gotcha. All right. So next process. So walk through that guy. That guy comes in. You know, what's the next thing? What's the next thing you do as a dealer? What's the next?
The customer, if they're getting approval on $50,000, with their credit union, you don't even got to work out a payment plan. They probably have an understanding of the payment plan already. You're getting them approved. You're gonna say, okay, $50,000. Okay, your payment plan is. Your payment plan is looking at $700 a month. If you want to put money into that, so you can bring down the payments, you're more than welcome to do that. And that's it. And then they get out the dealership with their car. Now there's some people that come in there and they want to haggle the prices because they don't like the prices. And there's certain markups that we have on the car that would allow us to bring down the price and give a good discount. Sometimes you got some people, they come in there, they really want to come in there to rape you. If the car's at $19,995, they want it for $14,000 and this and that. So, we just have to find a middle ground.
So how much? So let's get onto that then. All right. So you go on the lot. First of all, how real are those numbers on the cars? Like
MSRP. That's where it's at.
MSRP is where it is.
So basically, what it costs if you're buying a used car, you got to be careful, very careful. Reason why you got to be careful because a used car could be a car that's clean, or a car that's clean but has an accident. Not so much of a big accident. It could be a minor accident or whatever. So a lot of dealerships are buying cars with accident in them because they know that if they can close that customer on that car, they're making 1,000% profit on that car. Because if the car is valued at, let's say, $15,000, clean, no accident, and they buy the car for $8,000 because
the dealership buys it. Okay.
The dealership buys the car for $8,000 because it has an accident. That's a lot of room to play with. So now you buy a car for $7,000, but it's worth $15,000, maybe even $17,000. All right. So you put a pack on it. You really own it for $7,000, but you put a pack meaning like you put $2,500 or $3,000 on top of it. Now that's your new ownership.
Okay.
So that way you never go below how much you really own it for.
Gotcha.
So even if the salesperson is giving the car away, the dealership is making a minimum of $3,000.
Okay.
And never go under that.
So they'll buy it at $8,000. Let's just keep the numbers even. They buy it at $10,000, right? Because it has an accident.
Put a
but the
pack on
car
it.
is really valued at like 17.
Yeah, because no accident.
No accident, stuff
Right.
like that. So they put a pack on it. So they'll automatically add $3,000 to $4,000, right around $3,000 on
So
top
let's
of
say
that.
it's $13,000. They own it for 10. They put a pack on it for to be 13. So now no salesperson can go below 13. If the
Gotcha.
salesperson goes below or around 13,000 to sell that car, they're making a flat.
Flat.
$100. They're not
Gotcha.
gonna make no money on it. They
Okay.
gotta make between 13 and 17 or 18, whatever they're selling the car for, in order to make their 20%
Gotcha.
on that. So as long as the salesperson is staying high, they're gonna make their money. If
Right.
they're going low, the dealership's never gonna lose.
Right. I was going to say that next. So the dealership never loses money.
Just like a bank.
Even when they tell you, oh, I'm not making any money on this deal,
Yeah.
they're always going to make money.
Always gonna make money.
It's just really, so the dealership's going to get 3,000. Let's say the salesman for some reason didn't do his job, or he maybe couldn't, and he comes down to 13,000 on that car. The dealership's making $3,000
$3,000 off the back.
off
still.
the bat. Now that's not a good profit for them, right? Because they would have liked to see more, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's say that the car comes in, 13,000, whatever, and the salesperson sells it for, I don't know, 16,000. The difference from 13 to 16
It's 3.
is 3,000. So the salesperson earns 20% commission
On 3,000.
of that 3,000 that he sold it for. Okay, got it. All right, cool. Just so you guys can understand that breakdown. The dealership never loses, never. No matter what they tell you, they're never going to lose money on any deal. Now the salesperson might take a hit. He might,
The salesperson got to be a salesperson,
he's got to be a salesperson.
and that's how you differentiate a great salesperson to a mediocre to a medium salesperson.
Okay. All right. So then you can use that to your advantage as a buyer. You know that there's always wiggle room. There's always
It's fun to play that
room
game.
to negotiate.
But people end up getting hurt, and that's why I left the industry. A lot of people's getting hurt over cars. I mean, the biggest accident you can have is in the showroom floor, not in the streets.
Say that again, one more
The
time.
biggest accident you can have is in the showroom floor,
Not on the streets.
not on the streets.
Elaborate a little bit on that right there.
Meaning, a lot of people get the sledgehammer over their head. They get hit hard. So when you think you're getting a discount or a bargain, it's just a psychological feeling, a psychological thing. It's not a real thing. Like
Right.
the dealership is still making 100%, maybe 200% profit. You're winning because you went from 17,000 down to 13,000, and you got the car, but the dealership still cleaned up on you. Now, if the salesman is really good and it kept you at 17,000 with the car, the dealership could easily have pocketed $5,000, $6,000 just off that deal, and the salesperson probably made $1,200 or something like that
All right.
off that deal. You know what I mean? That's like we call those line 10s. Line 10s when you're making a minimum of $1,000. Line 20, you're making $10,000. I mean, not $10,000, $2,000 commission. So it's like when we say line 10, line 20 in front of each other, like the customer don't know what we're talking about. Yo, it's a line 10.
Yeah. But the customer don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
But
So that just kind of triggers everybody on the floor, whoever you're talking to, like, all right, that's a $10,000, or that's a $2,000 profit right there.
He's getting it. He's getting it.
He's getting it.
Oh, it's like this. Oh, you sold that car. I was holding on to that car. I was trying to save that car.
Right.
Sometimes the salespeople, they will hire a car in the back.
No way.
Just to show the next customer, like, this is a good car for anybody. And there's a lot of money to be made on this car.
So they keep it at the back of the lot. So they hide them from other. Like salesmen. Like, is that what they do?
Yeah,
like,
so
how does that
basically,
work?
let's say me. I would see a car come in, and I would see what we own it for, and I would see what we marked it up at. And there's some instances where if there's no price on the car, the salesman will come up with the price.
Oh, really? So
salesman-
that can happen. Like the car can get on the lot, and there's no price
There's
on
no
it yet?
price on it yet. And meanwhile, the salesperson selling the car, and if the salesperson is previous of the information and has an idea what the price can be based on other vehicles, he can add his own price on there. So let's say car come in, there's no price on there. He's just got to quickly think on his feet, and the customer's asking, so what's the price on this car? What's the price on it?
Gotcha.
Oh, this car, more than likely it's going to be at $21.95. Meanwhile, the other ones are going for like 18, but you add $21.95, being that if you compare it to the other cars, this one has a navigation. This one has a navigation and backup camera, and this one doesn't. So now you're selling it. Meanwhile, this car could be owned for less money than these cars that's going for less price.
Okay.
Because maybe this car has an accident that we're not privileged to yet.
Know yet.
To know yet as far as the information. And so you're just going off the cuff. You're just like, so this car's more likely it's going to be $21.95. I think the managers were referring to that price, but however, don't matter. I'm going to hook you up with the best deal. Don't worry. Just look at the car. Just make sure you like the car.
Okay.
Whatever we got to do to earn your business, we're going to make sure we do that.
So a car with no tag on it, with no price on it, it looks good for the customer because it feels like maybe they might get a deal. Look, this one's brand new. This one's fresh.
It's not good for the customer at all.
It's not good for the customer. Okay.
It's good for
I'm
the
saying
salesperson.
like in their minds though, in the customer's mind, there's no price on it. Can you as a salesperson make them feel better about it? Like, look, this is brand new. We haven't even touched this car
It just
yet.
came to the lot.
It just
That's
came to the lot.
It hasn't been touched. It hasn't. Doesn't have a price on it yet. So we're still working that out. But if you want to compare this car to the other cars, you can see the feature. You can see that feature. This car's going for this price, and you can see why this may be at the end of the day a little bit more money.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because of the features and everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why you're going to be up a little bit higher than the
Gotcha.
ones that's already there.
All right.
Even though at the end of the day, this car may have some damage to it that we're not privileged to know of yet because we didn't look at the Carfax. So you're just placing yourself in the best position to make the most money.
Make the most money. Gotcha. So you're already over-marking it.
You're over-marking it, yeah.
All right. So the tip to the consumer would be
the tip to the consumer.
Cars with no price on it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be mindful, be careful about that. If a car has no price, just know that, and it's illegal for the dealership to keep the car with no price for too long.
Okay.
On
What's
the
too
lot.
long? What's too long? Like so somebody come in and say, how long is this? They're not going to tell
2
you.
days, a day.
Okay.
As soon as the car go on the lot, it really should have a price on it.
Okay.
If we get audited or something like that, or get inspected, somebody gonna come around the lot and be like, "Oh, here's a fine." They may fine you for it.
Okay. All right.
So
technically, if you were smart, right? If you're the consumer, there's another tip.
right.
You would go to the dealership, see that car. There's no price on it. Don't even talk to anybody. Don't even inquire about that.
Right.
Come back a few days later and see that same car with no price on it. That can be something to bring up maybe, or I don't
Listen,
know.
man,
If it works out for the consumer, then I don't know. Like, listen, I was here 4 days ago, and this car still isn't.
Well, you don't know the game as a consumer.
Okay.
You don't know what's legal, what's not legal. You don't know if the car doesn't have a price for a reason. You don't know if the manager is still driving this car at night.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes you gotta drive the car in order to make it pass inspection. The car has to be driven for a certain amount of time so it can pass inspection.
Okay, so that's probably why there's no price on it.
There's probably no price on it
Gotcha.
for that reason. So there's ways to get around certain things.
Gotcha.
So that's why they don't get in trouble for too much for something like that.
All right. That's a good tip though.
But yeah.
No price on the car doesn't necessarily mean good news for the consumer.
No, it's not.
It's a win for the salesperson.
It may be a win, depending on how savvy the salesperson is. Because if you are wet behind the green behind the ears, and you just come in, man, they ain't got no price on there. I don't know what the price is, Mr. Customer. But this could be a good way to go inside with the customer. Why don't we go inside?
No, and sit down. Let's talk about this
and see what the price is. Being that you like the car, it has everything you're looking for. Boom, that could be a quick tactic to drag the client, the customer inside. Because the worst place you could be for a salesperson is outside. You bring them inside,
talk turkey, talk money.
hurry up and get them in there because you want to know what you got with you.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be in there wasting time and you're kicking tires and next thing you know the customer's walking out and like, I ain't got no deal anyway.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about that person that comes into you and then talk about your experience and maybe you can bring up a story where they come in and they say, and you come out and say, hey, can I help you? Whatever. Oh, I'm looking at this car. All right, tell me. You start talking, you find out information, and you find out that they're like, look, I need to get into something like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know?
Those are my
So-
wonderful customers. Those are the best customers.
All right, good.
They need to get in something yesterday.
So they're like, I need to get into something yesterday, and you start finding out information, and then let's walk through that process. That person that comes in needing a car, like.
Then you find out what the needs are.
Okay.
So so you need the car for what? Oh, I need a car for work. I just got a new job and I need to get around. I need something that's going to be good on gas. I need something that's going to be efficient. It's not going to break down on me. So when a customer come in like that, I usually think about Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, Nissan Altima.
Now this anybody who's watching, this is for the average American.
Average American
making average income,
making 30, 40K.
Okay. A year, and they're looking for those type of cars. We'll get into
practical vehicles.
Yeah, we'll get in. This is like, exactly. Vehicles that people, on the everyday they need. They need to get into a car. Then we'll talk about like dream cars, different purchases, exotic cars, and all that stuff later. Okay.
And mind you, you can make, as a salesperson, right? I'm just giving you the secrets. I'm giving you the tricks here. You can make more money on a cheaper car, depending on how much you have in there as far as
the salesperson can make more.
Salesperson, yeah. So it doesn't mean just because you sold a Mercedes doesn't mean you're gonna make money.
Make money on it. Okay.
You may not make no money.
Right.
On
it all depends on what the car is.
What we own it for, how much we're selling it for at the end of the day.
All right.
But yeah.
So this guy says, look, I need a car yesterday.
Yeah.
I've exhausted all my options. I feel like I've been, I don't think you should really go into a dealership like that, to be honest. You don't want to let the salesperson know that you're super eager.
Right.
But there are people
call like lay down.
Lay down.
Lay down.
Lay down. All right. See, it's all terms we're learning here. All terms we're learning, new things to know.
Right
so
now.
when you go to the dealership, you should know exactly how to talk, the language you need to talk, and who to speak to and what to speak about. So anyway, you just happen to find out that, he's done everything he could, or, you ran his credit and you see that he's at a 550. 550 credit
He's
score.
a lay down, but lay downs are usually the ones with bad credit.
Okay.
Because they know they ain't got no shot in the dark, and if you can create miracles, God bless you.
Okay. All right. So create a miracle for me. Let's see. So let's go. I come to you. Maybe we'll role play a little bit. Hey,
550.
I got a 550 credit score. Look, you pull my credit. It's a 550 here. What can we do here?
So I get down to the needs and what they want, right? Mm-hmm. Forget about the wants, all about the needs. You need something that works. You need something that can drive out of here. Mm-hmm. You need something that's gonna be good on gas. Okay, I got the right car in my head. I already checked out the lot. I know what's on the lot. Every day you want to be able to check out the lot to see what's on the lot. So I already got the car in my head that I'm gonna land them on. A car that I know as a salesperson that I can possibly make some good money on, whatever, if the credit is great. Meanwhile, if the credit is at 550, the person doesn't have too much of an opportunity to win here. And if he does win, he's gonna get anywhere between 15 and 24% interest rate, depending on the bank that's gonna pick up that deal. Now they're more
15 to 24% interest rate.
Yeah.
With the 550 credit score.
Oh yeah, you got 550 credit score. Where we going with that?
And people take those deals.
They got no choice because they feel like, well, one, they've been around the world. They've been to many of the other dealerships, and they got turned down. Can you land on your lap?
Are you able to see that when you pull their report? When you can see their inquiries and stuff like that?
When you pull the customer's credit report, you can see all the inquiries. You can see all the dealerships that they went to. They went to Toyota. They went to Honda. So they already got you
by the balls.
They already know how to talk to you. They got you
figured out. Yeah, they got you not by the balls, but they have you.
They have your profile. They know They know you're desperate
right
now. At this point, you're desperate, and they know that if I gave you a lemon, you're gonna take it. If I gave you anything, you're gonna take it.
Yeah. So another tip here: if you can avoid fishing by any means, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you need to find the dealership that works for you and the car that works for you. But if you can keep the amount of inquiries to a minimum, when you start to go fishing, it's going to rack up your inquiries on your credit report, and then, like you said, other dealers or other lenders are going to be able to see where you've been. Mm-hmm. So now they can size you up and see where they can possibly make some money from you, or make some money on you. Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
Yeah, you can. I would say pull your FICO score before you go into the dealership. Get an idea where your credit is, so that way you can indicate to the salesperson or the dealership that listen, I don't got the best credit. I just need somebody to work with me and get it done. I don't want to get too much inquiries because I already got bad credit. And inquiries are like 2 to 6 points decrease in your credit for every pull.
Yep.
So you want to be careful because you just deteriorating the chances that you have to getting a positive approval or getting a good approval that's going to be good at interest rate.
Okay, so they've been there. So they you size them up. You see that they've been there. Okay, but Wes, I need this car, man. I need this is what I'm willing. This is what I'm willing to pay. I have no money down. Let's just keep it real. That's most people.
Money.
I don't have any money. I don't have access to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I don't have any money down. This is my credit score. How do I get into a car? What do I do here? Like, this is what I'm willing to pay. And they tell you on a $30,000 car, they want to pay $150 or $200 a month. Right. That's my budget. So
you get an idea what the budget, how much they can pay every month before you even pull the credit. What's the most you can pay every month for the type of car that you're looking for? I can get you this, I can get you that. This is what you need, right? Okay, boom. How much you could put down, and how much are you willing to pay every month? I think I can do about $300 and no more than that. Do you have any money down? Nope, no, I ain't got no money.
Do you have
down.
a trade-in? Maybe they have a trade-in. Or
maybe they have a trade. If you got a car, right?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what a trade-in will do for you if you do have a trade-in.
Listen, at the end of the day, if you got a car, if you're desperate to get a car and you got a trade-in, that means that trade-in that you're bringing in has no value because you would not be in the dealership as this desperate.
Gotcha.
If you had a trade-in that was good value for us to take in. So more likely that car is a line zero. Line zero is a car that has no value. All right. So we're gonna make it seem like there's some value to it. So you know what? We can give you about $500, maybe $1,000.
$500
on this car.
Okay.
It ain't worth much. We really don't want it in the deal. You know what I mean? It's really just to you psychologically make believe that we trying to work with the customer.
Okay.
We're trying to work with them. So we'll give you $500 for the car. Meanwhile, it's a line zero. It's really worth nothing to us. It's not gonna affect the deal in a positive way for us. It's just there. If anything, it's more work, more paperwork, more documents, and it's we'd rather keep it out the deal unless it's a car that the dealership want to steal.
Okay.
So that's another one.
Talk about that. All right.
Dealerships steal cars all day.
Dealerships steal cars? No way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
So if you got a nice trading and the trading is blue book value on that trading, let's say is over $5,000, and in the street you can get it for close to $10,000. So that's your value right there, So the dealership will say, you know what, this car's beaten up, you got close to X amount of miles on the head, we'll make a deal with you, but this car doesn't have enough value for us to do that. Okay. We'll give you $1,000. We'll give you $500 for it. They'll start there, and if they have to make a deal,
even I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah. Even if they come in with the Kelly Blue Book sheet that says my car is worth $4,000 trade-in, if they come in.
What the dealership will tell you is, well, show me a dealership that the Kelly Blue Book own, and then you go buy the car there.
Damn.
Kelly Blue Book is not in the business of selling cars. They're in the business of giving you information on a car and what you should or could be paying for that vehicle. Not to say that that's the price of that vehicle, because you could be coming in with a vehicle that has 4 accidents in it. And you think it's the Blue Book value is telling you this, but in actuality it's worth nothing.
Okay, so having a Blue Book having a trade-in benefits you or it doesn't benefit you?
Depending on the value, the quality in the car, it can definitely benefit you. And if we can use it as a way to put down as a down payment to show the bank, oh no, we got some money here. We're giving this customer $1,000 on this car because maybe the bank is looking for $2,000 to put down on this vehicle, because let's say the bank is only giving you $10,000 for this $12,000 car that you're trying to get.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So the customer has to come up with the difference. So now we are able to push $1,000 on that vehicle for the trade-in. So now all it needs is $1,000. Okay, you come up $1,000 out of your pocket.
Okay.
You can drive right now. Right now, the bank is approving you. All you need is $1,000. Along with your trading, you're gonna be good to go.
Okay.
And meanwhile, a deal like that for us, a subprime deal, there's no money in it. It's like you're gonna get a flat. You selling this car, you're gonna make a flat. You're not making money. If the customer had good credit and looking at that specific car, yeah, now the bank may give us 100% of the loan, the value of this vehicle, and you can make all the money. You can make your commissions, your 20%.
Okay.
Everything's there. But a deal like that is like, salespeople rather give that deal to someone else, someone that's more greener. You know what? Take care of this deal. You're gonna make some money. You're gonna add it to your amount of car that you're gonna be selling for the end of the month. Take it.
Pass it off.
Pass off because you want to get to the next fish.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So trading. So there's your tips for the trading. So moving on. They have that. All right. Let's get back to the guy that doesn't have a trading. So you get there, you pull his report. He's like, "This is what I want to spend. All this stuff. What's the next step for this guy?"
No money down.
No money down.
Do you have a trade-in that has the value?
Okay.
That car doesn't have the value. We want to keep it out. You can, you're better off selling it off the street. You're gonna get some money for it. Mm-hmm. All right. So now, do you have money down? No, I don't have money down. Do you have a co-signer? Someone that can actually help with the deal? You have a wife that that you may have to talk to after before you make a deal. So can she co-sign? All we need is a social, whatever. And
will dealers encourage a co-signer?
Oh, all day.
Always, because they get the sale. Obviously.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, if we know the person has a 550 credit score, we know at the end of the day it's going to turn out to be a flat anyway, where we're only going to get $100, maybe $50. We encourage a co-signer off the bat.
So it's going to be a flat because you got to bring that price of the car down in order to fit their budget to try and get it off?
You may have to come down the price because the bank is not going to give you all the money for this particular customer because they ain't got the credit. They really don't want to get the approval going. And a lot of time when a customer is in that space, so you may get the in-house financing. So the in-house financing is automatic 24%.
Wow.
Automatic 24% interest. So if
another tip there. They tell you got to prove with in-house financings, chances are you're going to get a higher interest rate depending on what it is. And
they require, if the bank's not doing nothing, but you got some money to play with and you still want to drive, the dealership will give you one of those trading vehicles that they got. You give them a minimum of $3,000, put the rest on the payment plan, you can drive out of there.
Okay.
But it's
going to be
for a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be a good look. Listen, at the end of the day, if you're getting a Toyota, no matter how beat up the car look, the Toyota's gonna get you to where you're going.
Right.
Honda's gonna get you to where you're going.
If you need that car, like if you're that person that needs that car, you came in. I'll take it.
You'll take
24% interest rate.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you gotta have logic with this thing. You came in there, you ain't got no good credit, you ain't got no money down like that. It is what it is. You take it. It's going to be a trade line on your credit anyway. You build your credit with that. You do that for the next 6 months on time payments.
Right.
At the same time, you're trying to clean up your credit anyway. By the time that 6 month mark come around, you can refinance out of that vehicle. By then, maybe you saved up enough money to have some more bigger down payments on there.
Or your credit's gotten better or something like that.
Your credit's gotten better because of the payments that you've been making on time. With this particular payment, yeah, it's 24% interest rate, but there's a price to pay to start having good credit and to start buying into things for cheaper.
Okay. So that's another tip. You may not get the deal you want initially, and if you do walk off the lot with a 24% interest rate, or you got a damn near a lemon. It's not a lemon because the dealership shouldn't be selling you that. But think long term. Consider the future. Consider in 2 years or a year refinancing. So think about working on your situation, working on your credit. Like he said, you have another trade line, a primary. This is a revolving line of credit on your credit report. It's
it's a loan. So it's going to give you a mixture of credit now.
So it'll give you a mixture of credit. Now you have a few more things on your credit that's going to help you elevate that score. Keep those payments on time. Make those car payments. Because if you don't, that's going to start affecting your credit. The long-term goal here is to maybe refinance out of that high interest rate loan and then bring it down to something that's more affordable for you and save you money in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay. So they get in, you say, this is what I got for you. And that person goes, I don't know, man, how much is it going to cost me now? So you found them that Honda Accord. It costs, I don't know, it's
the Honda Accord, let's say it's
24,000, 27,000.
15,000.
Okay,
yeah.
so bring it down.
Because
so a 20, all right.
He has 550 credit score. He's not going to get approved for anything higher than 15K. He's going to be around between 10 and 13K with it, with taxes and everything, no more than 15. Probably somewhere around 14, you know what I mean, like that.
What about their income? How does their income supplement that?
Well, of course, the more.
So let's say they're making like 70,000 a year. Their credit's just shot.
Then the bank's gonna see, okay, the history. They had the job for a couple of years now. They've been making this money for the past 2 years. Or they're gonna take that to great consideration. You're still gonna get.
So that'll play a factor. It'll help a little bit, but it may not be.
It'll help accelerate the approval, but it's not gonna help you get a better interest rate. You're still messed up credit-wise.
Okay, gotcha. What if you're not employed? They won't even consider you.
If you're not employed, you have a co-signer. Give me your mom. Give me your sister. Give me your brother. Give me somebody. Give me your dog.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like that.
Give me your dog.
You come in there half-ass. You only get a half-ass response from the salesperson, and they're gonna look at you funny anyway. Like you must be brain dead to come in here with no credit, no money, and no job.
Right.
Come on now.
All right. I'm just asking these questions.
But it happens.
That people have to know.
No, I'm only responding because stuff like that happens.
Right. Okay.
All the time.
All right. So you get the Honda Accord 15K, right? So that's in your mind, the average person's thinking, all right, 15K, the payment shouldn't be too much more than 250 or something like that, and then they get hit with reality, and they're like, here's your payments, 24%. What's a payment looking like for a 24% interest rate for a $15,000 car that a guy has no trade and no money down, barely makes any,
He's in the 400s.
So he's paying right around $400 for a car that costs $15,000, and this is a term of what? So this is, let's just say financing. Let's just say they're not leasing anything. They're going to finance. They're going to borrow the money from a bank or in-house, whatever. The term of the loan is what? What are we looking?
Oh, it's gonna be it's gonna be short. It could be short because of
short meaning like 60 months.
No. 60 months is like ideal.
Okay.
Short meaning like 24 months, 48 months.
Wow. Okay.
Or 36 months, whatever. Because they don't want you too long in this car because they're not expecting the life expectancy on that vehicle to last with you.
Okay.
So if you start having a problem on a car that you're making payments on, what you gonna do? You're more likely to stop making payments.
Yeah.
So the bank don't want that.
Don't like that.
That's why the bank would like to tie you into a warranty in this car while you're in this car. So that way, if you got a 36-month term, they want the warranty to at least last for 36
months.
So that way the bank can be safe. It's a safety net for the banks.
Is that a selling point too? Is that the warranty is a nice selling point?
The bank is willing to make a deal, and they're gonna throw in a nice little warranty on there, man. You can clean the house right now.
Oh yeah, warranty? What kind of warranty? 36 months. What?
But at the end of the day, you just have to put that person in perspective. They have to understand that their situation is allowing them to get what's coming to them.
Right.
Whatever we offer it.
Okay.
And then you tell them, listen, you're not going to be here for too long. You're only going to be here for 6 months. Listen, here's the game plan. You're going to be here for 6 months. You're going to build amazing credit. In a 6-month term, you're going to come around. We're going to refinance it, and we're going to get you into a brand new car because you're going to show the bank that you can do this for 6 months. And then your credit is going to be better because of it. Not only I'm going to be in position to get you a brand new car, you're going to have full warranty for everything. Your life is going to be greater. So in actuality, you're putting yourself in position to help yourself out for the future.
And this is what you're telling them as a salesperson?
It's not just about the car. Think about when it's time to buy a home. Think about when it's time to get some credit cards and things like that. So look at this as a way to start living your life. And you go in. I go in like that sometimes. Depending on the person who's in front of me. Depending on what they got to hear, so I give it to them. Okay,
so you're letting them know that you're trying to help them out here.
Yeah,
right.
I am helping them out because they ain't got the right mind. Because they're just thinking I come in and get the world, and meanwhile, they can't get not even.
They can't get anything.
A piece of what? A piece of can. A can.
All right, so the $15,000 car, they got into, finally you say, okay, you know what, we got an approval for you. Let's just say it's an in-house approval.
With this one, we have a tentative approval for you.
Tentative, okay.
So This approval, if it's not gonna last for too long. It's it's a 12-hour approval, whatever. You may want to pull the trigger on it now because they're really looking at the deal now. It makes sense to them now. It may not make sense to them tomorrow.
Right.
So this is what I got. As you can see, it's hours here in the dealership. You've been here for a few hours. It's not working out the way you imagined it, but we pulled it out
pull it out of somewhere.
We pulled it out of somewhere. Miraculously, we was able to make it happen. Congratulations. Listen, you're on your way to driving this car out of here. So can you give me the insurance? And you have to know that they can actually qualify for insurance too. You don't want to be all in there fighting for
and then they
the numbers and fighting for a good deal and fighting for approval on the bank. And that's been a headache. And now realizing the next headache you're going to run into
is the insurance. Can I tell a little story about that?
Yeah, go tell me the story.
All right. So, and this is something I learned moving, as I'm purchasing. Now, I've owned a few cars myself, right? I've owned a bunch of cars, but my most recent car actually was an investment opportunity. Got rid of it, made some money on it, but you were there with me.
Yeah.
We bought
I was his
my advisor, my professional. And if you know someone that is knowledgeable in this field and this, bring them with you by all means, because that's going to just help your case and you can kind of know what to do. So if you know like someone like this gentleman right here, like who knows about this industry, who's been working in that industry, by all means take him with you. So I took him and one more guy with me to buy this car. It was a 2019 Mercedes-Benz AMG, right? GLE 43. Now,
nice car, man.
Beautiful car. So this for me was one of a dream car for me. Again, this is just for educational purposes only. Okay, I'm not bragging or anything like that. So I go and I say, look, I want to get this car. I had these guys with me. We went through the whole process. I'm going to skip through the whole process. But when it got to the insurance part, I got the approval because, I have the income. I was able to provide them everything. My credit score was in the 800s at the time. And I was flying through, it was perfect. Now, I came in with the knowledge. I already knew what this car was. I already knew how much it cost. I already knew all the other dealerships in the area. These are other tips that
research.
You can do to get what you need, and the dealerships can work on your time. So I did my research. I knew the other dealerships in the area. I knew they had these same cars. So I go to this dealership because it was recommended by you. Bought your car there.
Yeah, I recommended you.
He recommended me. So he bought his car there, so he says, come talk to my people over here, which is good. Anyway, got the approval, got everything, I'm like, okay, I'm excited. Let's go. Let's do it. What's the payment going to be like? Okay, here, they got me the payment. The next step was the insurance. Now, the insurance was the headache because I've never insured a car like this on my insurance.
A monstrous car.
Right? It was a monstrous car. It's almost $100,000 car, but I've never had this kind of car on my insurance before. And there was a slight gap in my insurance as well, So when it came,
a slight gap.
So what insurance companies look for is to see how long you've had insurance with,
like insurance lapse.
Right. Is there any insurance lapse?
Yeah.
Now, at the time I was, I owned a vehicle, but since, we saved costs, I was on an insurance plan with my parents.
Yeah.
So I had insurance, but it was through them. So, the more it saved them money, it saved me money. You know what I mean? So we kind of stood on that plan. So now when I go to start my own insurance, get my own insurance, they say, well, have you had insurance? Oh yeah. So I'm on, so at the time I'm on my parents' insurance, right? And for me to add a car like this onto their insurance, it's going to raise their insurance rates through the roof. This is now an exotic car going onto their insurance. So I got to be like, now I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me, because I could have had my own insurance, and I've had my own insurance in the past, but we figured we get on a plan together, we'll save each other money, it works out. The more cars they have on their insurance, the cheaper it's going to be for them. So I said, all right, why not? My previous car is on there. So now I'm like, I don't want to do this to their insurance. Let me just go ahead and get back on my own insurance. So when I call my insurance company and I say, look, I want to add this car, they say, okay, when's the last time you had insurance? And I said, well, I have an insurance plan. I'm actually on my parents' insurance plan. I'm covered through them. They're like, okay, send me the information. We'll go ahead and verify. When they verify, they notice that I wasn't even appearing on their insurance,
What was the confusion of that?
So,
though?
so I'll
Because you
tell
have
you.
the same name.
So my dad and I have the same name, So it's the same, it's the same name. So they're seeing my name on there one time, or maybe they're seeing it twice, but they're like, there was a little bit of confusion there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling me, well, I haven't had insurance. I don't see your name on this plan. You've had a lapse in insurance for, I think it was like 8 months or a year or something like that.
Right.
So what they're telling me, being that I'm technically a new driver now, here's my new rate. Like here's my rate for insurance.
Right.
If I want to add this type of car onto my insurance, I'm a brand new driver. And I'm like, there's no way. I've been on their insurance for, this amount of time. Anyway, long story short, they ended up finding me on their insurance. And they say, okay, you've had...
Well, how did they find it now?
I don't...
And they weren't able to see it
They
before.
weren't able to see it. For some reason, they were looking at it. I guess they didn't see that I was an authorized driver on their plan. Yeah. They're just seeing my dad's name. Right. They're not seeing they're not seeing my name or anything like that. So when they investigated further, they were able to look and see, okay, we see your name on this policy. You and your dad have the same name. There was some type of confusion on their part. Whatever happened, I don't know. But anyway, now my insurance, my personal insurance, is now they're able to see, okay, you've had insurance now in the recent 6 months or 3 months, something like that.
Right.
We can go ahead and approve you for this car. Now, had I not had insurance, this is what we were talking about before, qualifying. Qualifying for an insurance. So now, had I not had insurance in the past 6 months, I would have been considered a new driver, and now my rates would have been through the roof.
Super high.
Super, even higher than what. So now, when I add this new car onto my insurance,
how much was it though? Did they tell you?
$1,200. If I didn't have insurance,
that's per month.
Per month.
Not for the year.
Not for the year. This is
6 months.
Is per month.
Per month.
So they're like, to add this car, now mind you, this is close to $100,000 car. It's going to cost me $1,200 per month to add this insurance onto my new policy, being that I didn't have any insurance.
Right.
But once they found out that I did, it dropped down to almost $700 a month. So now that car, that price, that's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. Now my payments for this car are already almost $1,300 a month for this car.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it is what it is.
That's what it is. I mean, I knew what I was getting into when I bought this car. I just wasn't really thinking about the insurance thing just then.
Man.
So they said, my new insurance company says, okay, you've had insurance. Okay, here's your rate. It was like $670 something a month on top of my $1,300. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man. Now I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to do this?
Almost $2,000.
Almost $2,000 a month for the car
and insurance.
Now I know what I want to do. This is a car that I've wanted. It's my dream car, and I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make money off the car. It's an investment. Now I'm thinking in my head, my wheels are turning. How much money do I have to make off this car a month to cover the insurance, to cover the payments, to cover all this stuff or whatever? So I said, let me make a phone call, and I called you, and I said, Wes, look, this is what it is, and he's like, and you're like, wait, and you asked me the same questions you asked me then as you did just now. Why? What was the confusion? What's going on here? So I broke it down. Obviously, I broke it down to you, and he's like, and you're like, you know what? Take it because we can always restructure the insurance. Right. Because there's ways to talk.
Because once you have insurance, you can always get cheaper insurance. Everybody's going to want to buy you out.
Exactly.
And give you a better rate just so they can have you as a customer.
So that's what I did. I took the deal. I said, okay. Give me that. I'll pay the $640 or $650, something like that, whatever it was, monthly on the insurance. And immediately left the dealership with my brand new car. Right, I'm on cloud 9 now. I got a freaking beautiful car. If you anybody who knows what the AMG Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE looks like,
that's a fast car. I think you whooped me on the highway with that car.
Of course
right?
I did.
Did
of
you?
Course I did. Yes, of course I did.
I swear to God, I thought I had the stronger car.
Well, your car is stronger because you have. Those you don't know, he drives an S550. That's why they call him West 550. He drives an S550. My car is a newer car, but his has more horsepower. Whatever. We'll get into all that stuff. This is, things we'll learn. But anyway, I drive off the lot and I'm on cloud 9. We're racing out of the dealership. Not racing, but we're driving out. I got the nice twin valve exhaust, the bi-turbo, and you hear the pop, 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 pop. I mean, I'm driving, I'm cruising, I'm making all types of phone calls. Guys, look at this, whatever. I'm happy. And I immediately get to the office, and we sit down with a colleague of ours who goes ahead and we call another insurance company. A Connect. And we sit down and break down. And he breaks down, he shows, listen, I'm going to get you a nice low rate. I'm going to get you full coverage. I'm going to get you a nice low rate on this insurance. This is a brand new, beautiful car. What are you paying? What did they quoted you at? I'm at $650 now. Somewhere around $650.
Did you tell him how much you was paying?
Yeah.
Exactly?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And he said, we're going to get you down. So we call the next insurance company and we start talking and we have a conversation with them. And there's certain things that you can have in place that can save you a shitload of money on insurance.
Having a military background or veteran works.
So things to consider: military, college student, mileage. The biggest thing I learned when it comes to a quote or a rate for your insurance is the amount of mileage you're going to put on that car per year.
Oh, that's a trick. Like even with the leasing, right? You can't go over certain miles. If the bank know that you're going to be doing a certain mile on the car, they're not trying to approve you. So
Right.
You want to lie actually. If the dealership asks you, okay, how much miles you think you're going to do over a month? Or even with the insurance, how much miles you think you're going to do per month, per year?
Per year, per month.
Listen, man. I can walk to work. I don't use the car for work. I don't use the car for school. So I'm probably going about 2,500, 3,000 miles for the year.
For the year.
Something like that.
Now, most of you probably thinking like 3,000. I'm going to put way more than that.
You probably thinking 30,000 miles, 50. Listen, I drive back and forth to work. I do about 1,000 miles a week. All right, so I'm probably going to do about 30,000 miles for the year. That'll be it. You tell the insurance company that, it's a wrap. Like you're going to have the highest insurance in history. Right.
Yeah, no, it's true. So he's breaking his side. This is what he says. He says, let me call the insurance company, because he's also a car dealer. He has history and from the car dealership and stuff like that. He said, let me sit down. I'm gonna talk to them as if I'm your dealer. So he calls for me. He starts telling them, he's in the military. He drives. He's only going to be driving this car about 3,000 miles per the year. He can commute to work using public transportation, things like that. All types of discounts that he starts adding. Ask me what my rate came down to.
What did your rate come down to?
From the 650.
No. From the 1,200.
From the 1,200. From the 1,200 initially. Then it came down to 650, 660. I can't remember. It was a while ago. Got my payments down to $210 a month. Full coverage, bumper to bumper, $500 deductible.
On a brand new
2019 Mercedes-Benz. And mind you, I got this car when did I get it? December. So it wasn't even 2019 yet.
Right.
It's 2018. I'm getting a next year's car, technically this year, and I'm paying $210 a month. Full everything. All right? So we were able to finance. So really, we'll cover that in probably another episode or whatever, but there's things you should know when it comes to getting insurance for that car. So consider that. Consider your credit score. Consider the amount of money you have down. Consider your driving history. Oh, and by the way, my driving history was immaculate. I didn't have any tickets, any accidents, nothing like that. So consider that. Consider how much money you have down. Consider your trade, and also consider your insurance.
Your whole entire package when it comes to buying a car. You don't know where you're going to end up at if you got bad credit.
Absolutely.
Ask me where my insurance for my car.
What's your insurance? So by the way, he drives a Mercedes-Benz S550. What is it, like 2018 or something like 29? I don't forget what year it is.
It's 2017.
2017. And what's your insurance?
$150.
$150
per month.
I didn't even know that.
Thought I was gonna be somewhere up there with that car when I first got it, but I have an immaculate driving record myself, of course we live in Pennsylvania, so the insurance is much cheaper here opposed to New York as well. But yeah, I mean I made out. I made out real good when it comes to the insurance. I don't know what's keeping me in that number, but God bless me.
Yeah,
God bless America.
Definitely consider the insurance. Anybody who's looking, consider the insurance, because that's what most people overlook is the insurance and their rates. And they're like, well, now you have to add, because remember, it's not, you want your payments to be nice and low for a few reasons. One, you want to maintain, your budget. Right. And you want to be able to incorporate the insurance payments on top of that, So whatever your insurance is going to be, you want to make sure that, okay, now your car payment's not your car payment. It's your car payment is your payment, your insurance, and how much money you're spending on gas or maintenance on the car. You got to consider all these things moving forward for this car. So now I'm incorporating the fact that my payments are $1,300 a month for this car. Again, this is an investment car. I'm not going to try and come out of pocket for this car. I want to make money off of this car. So now it's $1,300 plus $2, that's $1,500, $100, and it takes premium gas because it's a luxury, exotic car,
you don't want to do nothing less than that.
You don't want to do, so now I got to factor that in, and so these are things you have to consider.
You get used to that. You get used to that space though, like using filling your vehicle with the premium. I mean, it is what it is. Like, even when I'm in a cheaper car because I rented, whatever. I mean, I'm like still trying to press premium. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Let me save some money here.
Right. Exactly.
So basically, what you got to factor in is, like you said, the car payment, the insurance. I would say do your homework before you walk into any dealership because you are going to waste time, especially if you have bad credit.
Absolutely.
You're going to walk in there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to spend until about 10 o'clock that night at the dealership because the dealership can literally close at 12 o'clock. They'll close to the very last customer. And if you're the last customer, it is what it is.
It is what it is, right.
But yeah, so the payment, know the insurance, so get some quotes.
Yeah.
So like pull up some Carfax online and the type of car that you want to get into, pull up some Carfax. Like let's say if it's a Toyota Camry, pull up a Toyota Camry Carfax. Let the insurance company know that, okay, this is the type of car you're going to get. What's going to be the quote for you on that car like that? Get the quote. Know what you're going to be spending on that, and know what your budget is going to be for the car before you get to the dealership. Now, you're not going to know what you're going to get from the dealership until you get there,
right?
Unless you test it out on some sites. Like I think you can go, I don't remember, but any one of those dealerships you can go into online and get like a calculator and get an idea of a payment.
Right.
In fact, you can download some of these softwares, apps, calculator apps, so like mortgage apps, leasing apps. And you get an idea how much money down, the interest rate, where your credit is, whatever. So, you know your budget and know your car insurance. You have that, it'll be less time wasted at the dealership, and you have an idea where your budget's gonna be, and you don't have to be so scary when you get there.
Right.
Information is key.
Yeah. Know all your factors. Know how much you're gonna spend. Insurance is definitely something to consider.
I killed a lot of deals.
Yeah.
I'm all happy with, I got your good deal on the car, you approve, you getting ready to drive out of there. Boom, I had this young girl who had like, we call that, one of those trust funds. She was a trust fund baby or something like that.
Trust fund baby, man.
And she was about 18, but needed a car, needed to drive. I didn't care. She didn't care what was going to happen. She just needed to drive. So got her approved on the car. And when it came down to the insurance was asking $1,800 for the car. Not for the year, not for 6 months, per month.
$1,800
on a Toyota on something like a Toyota Camry.
What was the
practical car?
What was the price of the car?
The price
Can't be more than $30,000.
The price of the car was not what was killing her. The price of the car was about $19,000.
$1,800 on a $19,000 car?
Yep.
For just the payment or for the insurance?
No, for the insurance.
What?
The payment by itself was like $400. But she was new in credit. She was new to driving.
Wow.
So new in credit meaning she had enough money to put down because she was a trust fund baby. Enough money to put down to get the approval going on the loan.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? So, but when it came down to the insurance, it didn't matter. It was just like, okay.
There's nothing
you can do unless you got someone that you can piggyback on and get the insurance. She didn't have that. She wanted to do her own and build her own credit as far as with driving and everything.
Right.
So she took it like a champ. $1,800 altogether. She probably had like a $2,200 payment on a practical car that cost no more than $20,000.
That's insane.
Per month.
That's insane. Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
See, you don't want to end up like that.
She could have bought a used car for $2,200 and put a regular insurance on there, not a full coverage insurance, and would have been in
great shape.
Right,
that's insane. Yeah. So look,
price you pay for not having credit.
Right.
and for being too young.
18. So don't. Yeah. All right. So then definitely don't go into the dealership desperate. That's number one.
Right.
Know all the factors. Consider all the factors. Know the language that you've heard during this show, that all the a lot of the terminology that these dealers use, and you've learned what you call packing
Yeah,
packing the price of the car, so you already know now the dealership will never lose when it comes to selling a car. They're never going to lose. They're never going to put themselves in a position to lose. You know what the salesperson's making. You know he's going to want to obviously make some money off of that. So he's never going to lose. You know what now to expect with insurance companies. You know what your credit score should look like. You've done the research. Definitely do your research on all that stuff. I mean, this is something that most people go through. And this is not just cars. I mean, there's the same thing with mortgages, with leases, things like that. So these are all factors to consider. But now you know what to expect. Now you can kind of see, maybe be a few steps ahead of the game, and insurance. Can't stress enough the insurance on top of that, So.
That's it. I mean, that's all that you really need to go out there and really, how would I say, have a good experience in the buying process. Because you can have a horrible experience. You're in the dealership for 10 hours, that is a horrible experience.
Yeah, that's a long day. I'd
rather call and say, look, here's my credit. You take down the information. You can pull it. Let me know when you get out and when you have an approval.
That's it.
You have an approval? Great. Okay, let me see what the insurance is going to be on that car before I get in there. Okay, oh, that's the price on that insurance? Okay, let me go call another place. That's the price on that insurance, let me call another place. You call 3 places and you see what they're saying. You go with the very best one, because once you have the car, you can get better insurance once you have the car.
Once you have it, right.
So insurance is one of those things. Never stop fishing. Always be fishing for good insurance. Every 6 months you go in there. That's why my insurance is at $150. I'm always fishing for better insurance. At some point, my insurance was at $800 a month. But that was in my beginning years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My 20s or something like that.
Right.
And then, I had the mentality, always get better. So I would call Geico. Geico was giving me this. I hang out with Geico for 4 months. I go after State Farm, Progressive, until I got to a point where it's like, you can't get no better than this.
Right. Absolutely. That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So do your homework. Don't go into the dealership. And nowadays, you can just go into Carvana and get the car delivered to your front door. Carvana.com. Give us a check.
We need a check for that, just so you know. Carvana.
But yeah, so hopefully you guys got a lot of information. Writers Block Cafe.
Yeah. Listen, again, if you have them, smoke them. This is Writers Block Cafe, right? Remember, if you missed the beginning of this episode, this is Writers Block Cafe. We're here to unblock ourselves, right? So grab your drink, we're here. Imagine this being a cup of maybe infused coffee.
Infused, giving you creativity.
Giving you some creativity. What do you do to unblock yourself? I'm just saying, unblock yourself. Get the information you need, and then you take this information and you go ahead and boom, put it into action. Yeah. You're unblocked now. So,
hey, listen, don't be afraid to hit that bell. Subscribe to our page. All right, if you like it, love it. All right, and share the information. Pass the thing around, copy and paste.
We'll share all the information, where you can find these episodes, where you can download it. We'll have many more episodes. Feel free to contact us on our website, wherever. Send us an email.
Mind you, we're life designers. Yeah, we're life designers, and we go beyond just living. All right, so we're life designers first. So this is Writers Block Cafe podcast by life designers.
That's right. So in closing, I want to ask you a couple questions. Let's just touch on the car really quick. I'll ask you a couple questions. You let me know if it's something they should do. Number one, we talked about getting approved, getting an approval before you go into the dealership, right? So that's something, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Get an approval before you go to the dealership, if you can. That'll eliminate a lot of the process for the dealers trying to look for lenders and stress and all that stuff. It'll save you time, 10 hours at the dealership. That's
mental health, emotional intelligence, all in one thing right there. Just
keep it simple. That. Keep it simple at the dealership.
Keep it simple.
So don't worry about the upgrades and the bells and whistles unless you're in that space and you know that your credit is good.
And listen, at the end of the day, if you're going in there for your dream car, have dream credit, have dream money to put down.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So again, don't buy any add-ons if you can't afford it. Don't worry about the sunroof. And if you're looking for that car to get in and get you from point A to point B, and your credit is where it's not up to par, or you don't worry about all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you have more leverage and you're in position, you can go ahead and start to now, dictate some of the things you want.
At the end of the day, you don't want to be afraid to ask the salesperson, listen, I would love these things. I would love a navigation. I would love a backup camera. If you can somehow include that in my budget as we move along, by all means.
I got a note here that says beware of long-term loans, like 6 years, 7 years, things like that. Is that?
Well, you got to be aware of that for. I mean, when I say that, I mean the longer the term, the shorter the monthly payment.
Okay.
So you want to have as long as possible so you can have the cheapest payment, and you can always refinance at some point to get even better interest rate and to get even better payments.
There we go. That was my question. My question was, the longer the term, the more interest you pay.
Right.
But
the smaller the payment is.
But the smaller the payment
Depending on what's the best interest.
Okay. So if you take that maybe 7-year deal and you think in the back of your mind, you know what, at some point I want to refinance this anyway, I'll take it because it's less payments anyway, and I'll refinance in a couple years once my credit's a little better and stuff like that. Okay, so don't necessarily beware of long-term deals. Take it and think about how you're going to make that.
If it makes sense for you right then and there, because some people are thinking, okay, pay this car sooner than later. Yes, understandable, but if it's not in your budget, you work with what you can work with.
Okay.
Some people want to do 36 months because they want to pay off the car quicker and save some money. But you may have a $600 payment opposed to a $400 payment doing that.
Right.
Do I want a $600 payment on top of the insurance?
Top of the insurance, right? Exactly.
Nah.
And the last thing, yes or no? Don't buy too much car, and maybe consider buying a used car. Should they consider buying a used car, or should they go new, or buying too much car, meaning like, don't get yourself in over your head. Don't think about all, like we said, maybe the bells and whistles or whatever, or maybe it's gonna, your budget or something like that. Like, is that good advice for them, or what do you think about that?
Don't buy too much car.
Like, yeah, don't buy too much car and consider a used car to save money.
Definitely consider a used car to budget if you are a budget customer. If you're thinking about budgeting, yeah, like if the used car is gonna get you the best deal as far as payment, and it's giving you all the features that you're looking for, go ahead and get that car. Especially if the car is it still has some factory warranty on there. It's good for the next 3 years, and the dealership can throw in free oil changes. Don't be afraid to ask
inspections.
Free inspection. Don't be afraid to ask the dealership
for incentives.
To get certain things out of them, because there's certain things that they will do for you if they know that you're gonna leave and go to another dealership and make a deal.
Right. That's true.
Listen, man, I'm gonna make a deal with you, but you're gonna have to give me some perks here.
That's what I did. That's what I did when I bought my, really quick, going back to that. I went in there with all the information I needed. So I already knew where I can get this car and for what price I can get it for. And there was a dealership in Jersey that I could have gotten the car for cheaper, from what they were offering at first. So then, is it true that if you find a car that has a true car value on the website for TrueCar, was it TrueCar.com,
TrueCar.com,
right? Does the dealership have to match that number or come within some type of
they have to
proximity
they have to match it if they want to do business with you. If they don't want to do business with you, they can just shake your hand and say, "Look, man, we I think that happened at the time that we went. They wasn't trying to budge.
They weren't trying to budge, but then I pretty much was like, look, I can go over here, drive 20 minutes to Jersey, and I can go ahead and get this car. And that started to make them, you know what? Let me
see what we can do, whatever. Right. And the dealership will always find a way to make their money, whether it's on the front end or on the back end.
Right.
You don't know which end you're gonna get swindled on.
You don't want to get fit from either end.
You don't know which end you're gonna get fucked on. So whether it's the front end or the back end, you're gonna get fucked.
Right. So when I say going back to too much car, I have a note here. It says the golden rule is that all of your car expenses should be no more than 20% of your take-home money. So what you're getting paid. So like, consider all the expenses: insurance, car, payment, gas and all that stuff. You want to keep it around, 20% of your take-home income or whatever. That'd be ideal to budget if you want to budget.
If you're a budget person and you're a penny pinching and you're thinking that way, yes, 100%. If you're one of those people, listen, man, I already know the details. I know the homework. Yes, I'm budgeting, but it's not that crazy. I just need the car that I want. If they meet certain criteria, I'm done. I'm sold.
Right.
I'm studying myself. Like I'm not allowing the salesperson to sell me. I'm already sold. I know where I need to be. I know where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can match that, boom.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think so.
So
That was a good one.
this episode was our first episode here, Writers Block Cafe podcast. We hope that it was informational. We hope that you gained a lot out of this podcast. Feel free to contact us.
Feel free to
Comment down below. Text us.
Wow. Since I gave out that number there.
I'll get it for you right now. So
Actually, no.
570
Yeah,
356 4590. 570 356 4590. Text us.
Become part of the community. Join our family. We're doing this show every week. You can catch it on Writers Block Cafe on Anchor. Anchor is basically a platform where you can podcast for free.
Absolutely.
Definitely if you are a creative soul, entrepreneur, and you're looking to get the information out, the word out, Anchor is free.
There you go. There's some gems for you right there.
Get with that.
Just like I said, the podcast is Writers Block Cafe. Come unblock yourself. Whatever you do, like I said, grab your drink, grab your smoke. Whatever you're doing, throw this on while you're running, maybe while you're in the car.
Exactly.
Get into work, and stuff like that. Because information is power, knowledge is power. We know that.
Tips. We're giving you tips. Writers Block Cafe: how to identify, diagnose, and cure your writer's block.
And we hope we're able to do that. So tune in on the next episode where we'll go over a bunch of other things. Consider this place a place you can come and sit down and unblock anything, any roadblock you have. So
if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to love this show. If you're a regular average Joe that's looking to come up, you're looking to a transition from the 9 to 5 and you want to be an entrepreneur, this definitely is a place for you. If you're a creative soul and you're looking to, expand your mentality and listen to other people, talk about their aspects of life and certain things that they went through that you can actually learn from. This is the show for you.
And if you're a subject matter expert and you want to join us on an episode and give your expertise, people will benefit from that greatly. So reach out to us, let us know. We'll get you in on an episode and we'll talk, we'll chat, we'll communicate. So,
all right.
Say what I got, guys. Writers Block Cafe podcast, and we talked about a lot. We talked about a lot today.
Yes,
we talked about a lot. So, cheers, brother. We'll see you next time.
To the first one.